Welcome back, class. This video will deal with special considerations for sentence analysis in sentence elements. These are special cases, I would say, based on the structure that they follow in the sentence, right? So they might be a bit difficult to analyze if we don't know about them beforehand. So that's why I want to talk to you about 6 special considerations when we are doing sentence analysis. Now, as you can see, we have the structure of existence as one of these elements, right? We also have the case of inversion. We have the case of yes/no questions. Then we have information questions, subject questions, and we also have commands. So let's dive right in and let's talk about the structure of existence. Now, when I talk about the structure of existence, what I am talking about is something that shows that something exists, right? And curiously enough, the verb that we use to show that something exists is not the verb exist. Well, we can use it, but it's not the commonality. What we normally use to show that something exists is the structure that is, there are, right? And all its variations. We can say there was, there has been, there will be, there should have been, etc. So it's not only there is, there are, not there was, there were. There's basically any variation of there is, there are, mixing tenses and mixing aspects, right? So this structure, what it shows is that something is, basically. There is, there are is expletive. What is an expletive? In this case, expletive, I consider it is a structure that we use, like in this case the word there, we use it not for meaning, right? It doesn't have a lexical weight, but it helps us to construct the sentence. It has a syntactic weight, I would say. But this word doesn't mean anything really. This just works together with must have been to transmit meaning. This doesn't mean, this is not an adverb. It doesn't mean ahí debió haber estado algo más en la caja. No, that doesn't make much sense, does it? It says, debió haber habido algo más en la caja. That's what it actually says, right? So, debió haber habido algo más en la caja. What's the meaning of there? There's no meaning for this word, because this is just an expletive. Now, when we classify the elements in this sentence, we need to realize that the subject is going to be found in what we consider the predicate, right? The subject is going to be somewhere over here. Not necessarily all of it. Sometimes all of it is going to be the subject, sometimes it's just a part. Like in this case, the subject is only something else. So I go ahead and say the simple subject is something, and the complete subject is something else. Now the simple predicate is the verb, must have been. This is not a compound predicate because the 3 verbs are working together, and you can see that we do not have 2 verbs that carry meaning, okay? We have 2 auxiliaries and the principal verb, the one that carries the meaning of the action. So simple predicate must have been, and the complete predicate is must have been in the box. I'm gonna show you another example. There is a reason for the CEO's behavior. Again, remember that the word there doesn't have a meaning. And I would say in Spanish, hay una razón para el comportamiento del ejecutivo. Hay una razón para el comportamiento del ejecutivo. So you see, this doesn't have a meaning, right? It works together because we don't translate this in Spanish, right? Remember, it's not exactly the same thing in every language. But this doesn't translate as es. It translates as hay, right? Hay una razón para el comportamiento del ejecutivo. So, how do I do the analysis? The simple subject is reason. The complete subject is a reason for the CEO's behavior. And the simple predicate is, and that's it. I don't have a complete predicate, right? Because all of this is the subject, so there's no space for part of that corresponds to the complete predicate, like in this case, in the first case, which I have the box, which complements the simple predicate, right? Another example, there will be a better tomorrow. There will be a better tomorrow. Again, the simple subject is right here, tomorrow. The complete subject is a better tomorrow. And the simple predicate will be. Hey teacher, why don't you include there in the predicate? Because if you include there in the predicate, then you have a complete predicate, like will be there. Again, because there is an expletive. If I include it, it's like I am using it as an adverb, right? And in here, in the structure of existence, the word there doesn't have a lexical meaning, right? And that's a structure of existence for you guys. Now let's talk about inversion. Inversion, not to be confused with conversion, right? Remember that conversion is when a word can perform several parts of speech, when a word can have several meanings. So that's conversion. But inversion happens most likely in poetry. It's a little archaic, I would say. In many cases you're going to find it mostly in poetry, because you want to invert some words and phrases in order to rhyme, right? So basically inversion is when you take the subject to the predicate position and the predicate goes to the subject position. But it's not passive voice, okay? Do not confuse inversion with passive voice. Passive voice requires a transformation of the verb. Inversion is simply to change the order of the elements so that the predicate goes to the subject position and the subject goes to the predicate position. I repeat, inversion is not passive voice. Check this example. Running from his assailants was the spooked man. I have switched the elements from their original positions, right? And I have moved the subject, which is the spooked man, to what we consider the predicate. So basically, this sentence says, in a standard order, the spooked man was running from his assailants. The spooked man was running from his assailants. So if you feel more comfortable by rewriting the sentence before you do the analysis, go for it. And then the classification is nothing out of the ordinary. Man is the simple subject. The spooked man is the complete subject. The simple predicate is was running. And the complete predicate is was running from his assailants. I don't have a direct object. Yes, teacher, you have a direct object. Was running from whom? His assailants, direct object. No, be careful. Remember, you gotta ask the question to find the direct object right after the verb. If you have a preposition, if you ask the question what or whom, yes, of course, you're gonna get an answer. But because those are going to be the object, that answer is going to be the object of the preposition. To find the direct object, you ask the question right after the verb. Another example. Silent was her vengeance. Silent was her vengeance. Not silence, right? Silent was her vengeance. Again, I have changed the orders of the elements. Her vengeance was silent. So, I insist, if you feel more comfortable by rewriting the elements, to say her vengeance was silent, and to rewrite it so you can do the analysis, go for it. The simple subject is vengeance. The complete subject is her vengeance. The simple predicate is was. The complete predicate is going to be was silent. And in here, you see you can ask the question, what? Her vengeance was what? Silent, direct object. No, not a direct object. Because you are using verb to be. Yes? You are using verb to be. Silent is an adjective, right? And you can see that it gives a quality. It describes her vengeance. So I'm going to say that silent is a predicate adjective, right? One more example. Near the hill waited James Howlett for Laura. Near the hill waited James Howlett for Laura. If you want to rewrite that sentence, it would say James Howlett waited for Laura near the hill. James Howlett waited for Laura near the hill. And then we do the analysis and you say, okay, teacher, we have a compound subject. This time I know we have a compound subject because I am joining the two subjects with a conjunction. Yes, for can be a conjunction, not in every case. Remember, once again, conversion. And second, I am not joining them, right? We don't use the conjunction for to join subjects. Yes, I can use and, I can use but, I can use nor, I can use or, even yet, although we don't use yet much anymore. But for is not used to join compound subjects. So no, and second, you can see that there's only one person doing the waiting, right? That's James. So anyway, the analysis goes, simple subject is James Howlett, and the simple predicate is waited. And then I classify the complete predicate, waited for Laura near the hill. And I do not have a direct object or a predicate something. No, that's it. And those are the first two cases, guys. And we are going to continue discussing the other special cases in the following videos. Have a nice one.